May God bless you today and just pour a divine blessing over your entire week ahead.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, have you ever considered that holding a grudge or maybe taking revenge against someone who deeply wronged you might actually be, well, a form of cosmic embezzlement?
It is a pretty wild concept to think about.
It really is.
Yeah.
So welcome to the deep dive. Today we're basically stripping away the abstract theory from ancient theology and dragging it straight into the gritty reality of modern life.
Which is always the best way to do it, I think.
Right, exactly. We are looking at this incredibly in-depth commentary on the biblical passage of Romans, specifically chapter 12, verses 1 through 21.
Yeah, that specific chapter is just packed.
It really is. And the mission for this dive is figuring out what it actually means to construct a, quote, transformed life in a world that, constantly demands you conform to it.
Well, and it's a profound transition point in the text itself. If you've ever studied the book of Romans, you know the Apostle Paul spends the first 11 chapters doing some incredibly heavy theological lifting.
Oh, yeah. Tons of it.
Right. He is laying out doctrine, the mechanics of grace, this overarching narrative of salvation. It is dense, it's abstract, and it's just highly intellectual.
They're very theoretical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the moment you cross the threshold into chapter 12, the brakes just slam on. The theoretical chalkboard is wiped clean, and he pivots abruptly from doctrine to ethics.
From the what's to the how.
Yes. From what you are supposed to believe to the absolute duty of how you must live. It's a huge shift.
Which really implies that you can't just leave the big ideas in your head. The commentary quotes F.F. Bruce on this, pointing out that in this framework, belief determines character.
Yeah, that's a great way to phrase it.
Right. Like, a doctrine is never taught just for the sake of intellectual trivia. It's taught so it can be dragged out into the daylight and put into practice. If theology is the realization of grace, then ethics is, I guess, the expression of gratitude for it.
Totally. And what makes this specific commentary so illuminating is how it maps out this practical living. It doesn't just hand you a randomized list of ancient rules,
Right. It's highly organized.
It really is. It organizes a transformed life into 4 concentric relational spheres.
Okay, lay those out for us.
So you have your relationship with the divine, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your fellow believers, and then, well, the ultimate stress test, your relationship with your enemies.
Wow. Okay, so it's a complete 360-degree view of human interaction.
Exactly.
And logically, I mean, you can't really tackle the horizontal relationships, how you treat your neighbor or your enemy, if the vertical relationship is broken.
No, you really can't.
So the text starts by addressing humanity and God, demanding that people present their bodies as a living sacrifice. But wait. A living sacrifice it's essentially an oxymoron, isn't it?
It is. That is the precise tension Paul is intentionally creating there.
Because historically speaking, the whole point of an altar is that things die there, right?
Right. For his original audience, a sacrifice always meant taking an animal's life before placing it on the altar. But this concept demands a continuous living surrender.
So you don't just die once, you keep living it out.
Exactly. It's a once-and-for-all handing over of your autonomy. But you keep breathing, you keep walking around. You are living out the sacrifice in real time.
Which completely disrupts how both the ancient and modern worlds view the physical body, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the commentary goes into some fascinating cultural contrasts here. In the ancient world, particularly among, Greek philosophers, the body was often viewed as a tomb.
Yeah, the physical is bad, the spiritual is good mentality.
Yeah. Right. It was seen as this dirty physical prison that the enlightened soul needed to escape from.
Well, today, we have swung to the absolute opposite extreme.
Oh, completely.
We idolize the physical form. We spend billions on cosmetics and fitness and anti-aging just to worship at the altar of physical perfection.
Yeah.
We treat the body as an idol.
But this text rejects both of those, right? It rejects the tomb and the idol. It frames the body as a temple.
Yes, a temple.
Which means spirituality isn't just about what you think. It's about what you do in the physical world. The Greek word used here for worship is logikos.
Logikos, yeah.
Which means rational or logical worship. And that just blew my mind because we usually associate worship with an emotional experience.
Right, or a ceremonial ritual,
Yeah.
Singing songs in a building, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But logikos suggests that what I look at, what I type with my fingers, where I walk with my feet, that is the actual worship.
Because if your spirituality stays entirely in the theoretical realm of your mind and never trickles down to dictate the actions of your hands and feet, The commentary suggests it is completely spurious.
It's just fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
Right.
True sanctification requires physical action in everyday mundane settings. The office, the grocery store, the living room.
So if the body is the vehicle, I guess the mind has to be the steering wheel.
That's a good analogy.
Because the text immediately moves from the body to the mind with this famous instruction. Do not conform to the world, but be transformed.
And the linguistic roots there offer such a brilliant psychological framework.
They really do. The commentary highlights two different Greek words for form. The word for conform is schema.
Or its schema.
And this refers to an outward appearance that changes based on the environment.
It's basically superficial adaptation.
Exactly. It makes me think of a chameleon. A chameleon doesn't have a core identity of color. It just, scans the room and matches the leaf or the rock or the branch it's sitting on.
Yeah, it just blends in.
Right. And the text argues that the world operates like this flaccid, relativistic, constantly shifting its moral shape.
Mm-hmm.
If you operate by schema, you are just a moral chameleon, blending into whatever is culturally acceptable today, even if it contradicts what was acceptable yesterday.
But the alternative, the command to be transformed, uses the Greek word morphe,
Morphe.
which refers to an inward, permanent, unchanging essence. It is the literal root of our word metamorphosis. It implies an inside-out change.
So instead of a chameleon, we're talking about a caterpillar becoming a butterfly.
That's exactly it.
A butterfly doesn't change its wings to match the tree it lands on. It has undergone a fundamental biological change that dictates its new reality.
Right, you can't go back.
Exactly. If your mind is undergoing metamorphosis, you are insulated from the pressure to just blend into the shifting trends of the age.
And this internal metamorphosis, it creates a domino effect.
How so?
Well, if your mind is fundamentally renewed, you can no longer look in the mirror and view your own ego through the lens of modern culture. It forces a radically honest self-evaluation, which moves us into the second relational sphere, your relationship with yourself.
Right, and the text identifies two severe psychological traps that a transformed mind has to avoid here.
Yeah, the two extremes.
This superiority complex makes perfect sense. I mean, if you actually believe your salvation and your talents are a product of divine grace, arrogance is completely illogical.
Yeah, you didn't earn the gift, so you can't be snobby about having it.
Right. But I really need to stop on the second trap they bring up, because it feels like a direct assault on our current cultural norms. The commentary warns against the inferiority complex.
Why does that feel countercultural to you?
Because in modern culture, self-deprecation is basically a competitive sport.
Oh, that's true.
We constantly put ourselves down and we masquerade that flattened self-image as humility.
We do, yeah.
But the source argues that walking around with an inferiority complex, viewing yourself as worthless, is actually a false humility that profoundly insults grace.
It is a devastating critique of how we view self-worth. There's this old Puritan concept that asks, do you think it a small thing to be loved by God?
Wow.
Right. If you believe you are a recipient of divine grace, calling yourself garbage is denying the reality of what the divine has done for you.
So it's actually arrogant in a weird way.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
True humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less often.
That distinction changes everything. You aren't supposed to hate yourself. You're supposed to correctly identify your utility. And the text transitions into how we use this healthy self-image by introducing the concept of spiritual gifts. But Warren Wiesby, a scholar cited in our sources, makes a massive point here.
What did he say?
He says these gifts are tools to build with. They are not toys for your own recreation, and they are certainly not weapons for destruction.
And they're marked by 4 distinct characteristics too. Unity, because everyone is part of one body. Diversity, because a body needs different organs to function. Mutuality, meaning the gifts are designed to serve others, not to facilitate competition. And utility, meaning they are deeply practical.
Let's actually dig into some of these gifts because they shatter a lot of preconceived notions.
Sure, let's do it.
For instance, the text mentions prophecy. The immediate cultural association with prophecy is some mystic with a crystal ball predicting the future.
Right, but in this context, the commentary clarifies it has almost nothing to do with fortune-telling.
Okay, so what is it?
It is about exegesis. It's the ability to deeply understand ancient scriptures and boldly explain their truth to a contemporary audience. It's about clarity, not clairvoyance.
Oh, got it. Then you have ministry or service, rooted in the Greek word diaconia.
Iconia, yeah.
And this isn't the glamorous on-stage leadership. This is the raw, practical willingness to step into the mess when there's a physical need.
Getting your hands dirty.
Exactly. Then we see teaching, which is the intellectual capacity to unpack complex truths. But it pairs so interestingly with the next gift, exhortation.
It's a crucial pairing, really. If teaching is aimed at the intellect, exhortation is aimed at the conscience and the will.
So it's the motivation part.
Yes.
Yes.
Teaching gives you the information. Exhortation comes alongside you, grabs you by the shoulder, and urges you to actually apply that information to your life.
Then the text brings up giving. And the commentary shuts down the idea that giving is about the size of your bank account.
Right. It's not about the amount.
No, it's entirely about the posture of liberality. It's someone who views letting go of their resources as a profound privilege rather than, an oppressive tax.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to see it. Next is leadership.
Right. And the linguistic root for leadership here implies standing in front to guide and protect.
It completely rejects the corporate model of a CEO who sits at the top to be served.
Yeah, exactly.
True leadership in this framework means taking the risks necessary to defend those behind you. You lead by the weight of your example, not the volume of your demands.
And finally, mercy, which is described not just as feeling bad for someone, but as compassion fused with joy. It's willingly throwing your heart into someone else's misery to help pull them out. The historical examples the text provides are incredible, like George Mueller establishing vast orphanages in Victorian England.
Or Robert Raikes starting Sunday schools to keep street children out of factories.
Right. That isn't just thoughts and prayers. That is mercy weaponized against suffering.
But here is the critical pivot the commentary makes.
Okay.
You could possess every single one of those tools. You could teach brilliantly, lead boldly, and give generously. But if you lack the foundational power source, the tools are completely useless.
Right, which moves us to the third relational sphere, fellow believers.
Yes. And the text identifies this power source, the circulatory system of the entire body, as love.
And love is such a diluted word in English. I mean, we love our spouses and we love pizza.
Right, we throw it around a lot.
So to nail down what this actually looks like in practice, the author John Stott broke it down into 12 ingredients, which our sources synthesized into the 5 opens of Christian love.
Let's explore those, starting with an open heart. The text demands that love must be without hypocrisy.
Meaning?
Well, the Greek word for hypocrite, hypocrites, literally referred to an actor playing a part on a stage from behind a mask.
Oh, wow. So it's a direct command to take the mask off.
Exactly.
The community cannot function like a theater troupe pretending to care about each other. It has to be visceral. It uses 2 specific words to describe this. Philostorgos.
Which is the fierce, protective affection a parent feels for a child.
Right. And Philadelphia, which is brotherly love. You are treating people who don't share your DNA as if they actually do.
Which naturally requires the second characteristic, an open pocketbook.
Oh, this one is tough.
It is. The Greek word koinonio is used, meaning to share or distribute. The commentary introduces an economic principle that basically defies human logic.
What's the principle?
It states, the seed that multiplies is not the one we eat, but the one we sow. It defines true wealth not by what you can hoard in a silo, but by what you distribute to those in need.
That is terrible modern financial advice, but it seems to be brilliant spiritual advice.
Yeah, it really flips things on its head.
The third open is an open house, or hospitality. But the Greek word here is philoxenia, the love of strangers.
Right.
So you have this incredible tension to navigate. You are commanded to have Philadelphia, a deep devotion to your brothers, while simultaneously maintaining philoxenia, an open-door love for complete strangers.
It prevents the community from becoming an insulated, exclusive country club. You take care of the family, but the porch light is always on for the outsider.
I love that. The fourth is open lips. You are called to bless those who persecute you. Not just tolerate them, but use your words as medicine.
And St. Augustine made this fascinating argument about that.
Oh, about Stephen, right.
Yes, he argued that it was the martyr Stephen, using his dying breath to pray for his executioners, that ultimately shattered the hardened heart of the Apostle Paul.
Words of blessing actually possess history-altering power.
They really do. Which brings us to the 5th and perhaps most psychologically demanding open, an open soul.
Solidarity in both joy and sorrow. The instruction is to rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep.
Simple enough, right?
Well, you would think. But I have to bring up the observation from Chrysostom mentioned in the text here because it is a devastatingly accurate piece of human psychology.
Yes, the envy factor.
Right. Chrysostom pointed out that it is actually far easier to weep with those who weep than it is to rejoice with those who rejoice.
Which seems counterintuitive. I mean, you would assume attending a party is emotionally easier than attending a funeral.
Right. But Chrysostom understood the darkness of human nature. When someone is broken and weeping, our natural sympathy easily kicks in because they aren't a threat to us.
We can afford to be kind.
Exactly. But when someone succeeds, when they get the promotion or buy the house or achieve the dream, our inherent envy activates.
Oh, yeah. Our ego feels threatened.
And that jealousy acts as a concrete wall blocking us from genuinely celebrating their success. The text is demanding a spiritual transformation so profound that you can cheer for another person's victory without a single trace of resentment.
That is an incredibly convicting diagnostic tool for the soul.
It really is.
And it serves as the perfect bridge into the final and undoubtedly most difficult relational sphere.
The enemies.
Yes. It is one thing to deeply love your friends or your community. The ultimate stress test of whether your mind has actually been transformed is how you behave in this fourth sphere, your relationship with your enemies.
And the mandate here is just staggering. Do not repay evil for evil. But the theologian William Hendrickson provides a framework for this that completely reframed it for me.
The embezzlement idea.
Yes. He says that taking revenge isn't just a moral failure, it's a form of embezzlement.
Embezzlement. It's such a precise legal term for a spiritual concept.
Right, but how does taking revenge equate to financial fraud?
Well, because the text explicitly states that vengeance belongs entirely to God. It is divine property.
Okay, I see where this is going.
So when someone hurts you, and you decide to take matters into your own hands by extracting retribution, you are reaching into God's vault and stealing something that doesn't belong to you.
Wow.
You are usurping the divine role. Hendrickson argues that taking revenge means you are suffering from a God complex, elevating your own immediate desire for payback above cosmic justice.
Okay, but I have to interject here on behalf of anyone listening who has survived deeply toxic, abusive people.
Of course.
The text commands us to live in peace with everyone. Does this metamorphosis demand that we become human doormats? Like, are we supposed to endure abuse and maintain peace at absolutely any price?
No, absolutely not. And the commentary is deeply careful to highlight the guardrails Paul places around this command.
What are the guardrails?
He includes two vital limitations, if possible, and as far as it depends on you.
So, if possible, directly acknowledges that sometimes, because of the other person's toxicity, peace is literally impossible.
Precisely. The commentary makes it clear that peace must never be purchased with the currency of truth or holiness.
Okay, that makes sense.
If maintaining a relationship requires you to compromise your integrity or subject yourself to evil, the price of that peace is just too high.
And the second part?
The command, as far as it depends on you, simply means you ensure that you are not the instigator. You extinguish fires, you do not provide the gasoline, you aren't mandated to be a victim, but you are forbidden from being the aggressor.
That distinction is a massive relief, honestly. But it leads into this bizarre, almost aggressive imagery about how we're supposed to treat an enemy.
Oh, burning coals.
Yes, the text says that if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. And by doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head.
It's a striking image.
Now, I don't know about you, but pouring hot coals on someone's skull sounds exactly like the kind of medieval revenge we were just told to avoid. How does that align with radical peace?
It sounds incredibly vindictive until you understand the historical context the commentary provides.
Okay, enlighten me.
This phrase likely references an ancient Egyptian cultural ritual. When a person had committed a grave offense and wanted to demonstrate profound public repentance and contrition, they would walk through the center of town carrying a basin of hot coals on their head.
Wait, so the coals aren't meant to physically burn their flesh as a punishment?
No, no. The burning coals are a metaphor for the burning pangs of conscience.
Oh, wow.
It represents the searing, suffocating shame in enemy experiences when they throw their absolute worst cruelty at you and you absorb it and hand them back radical, unexpected kindness.
So your mercy short-circuits their hostility.
Exactly. It shocks them into realizing the sheer ugliness of their own actions.
You are dismantling their hatred by refusing to mirror it. It's like psychological judo.
It really is.
The text concludes this entire commentary with a quote from Abraham Lincoln that perfectly encapsulates this. When Lincoln was criticized for speaking kindly about his political enemies during the Civil War, he was asked why he didn't seek to destroy them.
His response was brilliant.
It was. He said, "Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends?"
That is the transcendent victory over evil right there. If you pay back evil with the same currency, you only fund the continuation of the conflict.
Right.
The transformed life operates on an entirely different economy.
Well, this has been an incredibly dense journey. We've traced this path from the lofty, abstract theology of grace all the way down into the mud of how you hand a glass of water to someone who actively wants to ruin your life.
We moved from the metamorphosis of the mind to the literal actions of the hands.
We did. And as we close, I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to unravel on your own this week.
Always good to leave them with something to chew on.
Right. So, the text commands the physical action of giving your enemy bread and water. What it does not say is, wait until you feel a warm, fuzzy surge of affection for your enemy, and then hand them the bread.
Yeah, it just commands the deed.
Exactly. So here is the question. Does acting out the good actually construct the feelings we wish we had?
Oh, that's deep.
Right. Perhaps we aren't supposed to wait for the emotion of love before we act. Maybe, by forcing our hands to do the merciful thing, we are actually inviting the internal transformation to catch up. Does the physical action build the emotional reality?
A profound psychological and spiritual question to carry with you.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us today. May God bless all of you listening, sending you into your week with clarity, grace, and an untroubled peace. See you next time.